the front porch on the steps watching. And so we got on the motorcycle, and I was a daredevil. So then we rode by Doris's, and I told Dennis, I said, now this is where my sister-in-law lives. So he pulled up in their driveway. Well, meanwhile, Doris's sister had just left there, and she thought it was them coming back, and when the horn blew. And Doris come out of the house thinking it was them coming back. They forgot something. And when she saw me on that motorcycle, I'll never forget her. She got so tickled. She just went like this. Like I can see her right now. And so then we went on, let's see, we went on to Diane's, and Dawn, let's see, was it Dawn? One of the girls.
It was Dawn, I think.
Come running up there because, she knew Dennis and all. It was, we had a pretty good life. I mean, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Mama was a good watchdog.
Yeah.
She was very careful.
Well, I don't know.
Mr. White used to make wine in his smokehouse. And then Mama, I remember her taking a drink of the wine, and she got so weak in the knees she had to sit down. I remember that. We could write a book.
He wouldn't let us eat those grapes either, would he? Remember the grapevine?
We'd sneak.
Because he made wine.
Used to sneak and get it.
Yeah. We'd get out there and shake that vine, put a sheet on
Yeah.
the ground and shake it.
Grapes were fall.
That's funny. Were they? What kind of grapes were they? They real juicy, sweet, or Concord?
Wasn't it Concord grapes? Concord.
They were.
They're good. They're the best.
They were white grapes, they would call them.
I think that's what they were.
They were they. Well, I don't know Aunt Lillian, who you stay with, but I know Aunt Zelda. I said, I remember Aunt Zelda. I don't think I ever met Aunt Lillian that you stay with, but Aunt Zelda was the sweetest lady in the world.
We'd all play together, but then one
Do you
time,
remember Aunt Zelda?
One time I was down there, and Mary Blaine, she was my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And but Robert asked Doris, so I was going to Doris to spend the week. So she asked Doris to let him know when I was down again he wanted to date me. So Doris wrote to them, and so he came. And that's where the date started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I remember Aunt Zelda, and I remember going to her house. I'm sure I went more than once, but I remember one time going to Aunt Zelda's house and spending the night. And I remember me and Granddaddy staying in a room, and I remember the mattress was made of down. It was a down mattress.
Well, you know,
It was not a. It had feathers in it.
Upstairs, that's where we slept. It was like a partition. The steps, and then on this side the boys slept, and then on this side of the steps the girls slept. There was no really doors on there because you never thought about doing things,
Right. Oh, pardon. Let me get the phone. Hello. Hey, Mom.
Where's Diane?
All right. Just I hit the unlock button.
Mary Ann?
It's
Where did she go with her?
Mary
it's
Ann's
unlocked.
on church.
Right, love you.
Where did Joe went to
I
church?
forgot about that. Yeah. What is it?
No, she just wanted to tell me they're going to be here any minute.
Oh,
Say what?
be here any minute.
Yes, ma'am. From taking the girls to get some stuff.
But you know what that could have been?
The mass started at 9, didn't it?
Oh, that would, yes.
That would have been made a good book.
Mm-hmm.
Write a book.
Yeah. It sounds like it. How did you meet your husband? Your first husband? Is it Heber? Is that his
Had I
name?
mean-
I
my
met
first
him
husband?
first.
No, what?
He came to date me.
He came to date
Is
her, so then I started dating him, and then we got married.
Okay. How old were you when you got married?
I think I was 19,
I
Okay.
think we all were.
because
that
I was 20 when Willard was born.
Okay.
So I was 19.
Okay.
You
But
remember
we'd
Doris
only been
Ruby?
married 10 months when he died.
You remember Doris Ruby?
You know, how did he, I want to make sure I understand, how did, because Granny had told me a story, how did he die?
Lightning.
It was a lightning, that's what,
Yeah.
under a tree, right?
We had a tobacco farm, and they'd been out in the field, and the storm came up. It was the
Terrible
first day
storm.
of July. I always remember that.
He got soaking wet.
He got soaking wet, and he came under the shelter where we were. We were all under the shelter of the barn, tobacco barn. And one of his cousins was up on the, he was putting tobacco sticks up in the barn,
His cousin
and he
was
fell. But the lightning struck him, and he had his arm on one of the farm implements where two horses could
Right,
stay, you know.
right.
And that had metal. It stripped his shirt sleeve. And of course, he killed him instantly. They took him out and tried to revive him, but they couldn't.
Were you there when that happened?
Huh?
Were you there when that happened?
Did he what?
Were you there when
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I had pins and needles all through my body. I think it was a shock.
Well, it probably could have been some of the lightning
Could have been
in the
from the
ground.
lightning.
Yeah.
Could have been.
See, we were working at another farm right close by, and they called us and told us.
Wow.
And there was a cradle right under this thing that Willard was in, and I had just picked him up. The paper said that Heber picked him up. Heber did not pick him up because he was wet.
Okay.
I picked him up just in time because it would have struck him if I hadn't picked him.
Gracious.
And it hit Heber's sister too. She had her leg in the wheel of that thing, and it shocked her. She always suffered from that, I think, because she never could have children.
Now, where was that? Was this in Carolina?
Down
That was
in near Vainsboro, North Carolina.
Vainsboro. Country. In the country part, you know.
Well, Heber had a brother named Matt. You remember Matt?
Matt McLaughlin.
Matt Bland.
Oh, Matt Bland, oh yeah.
Well, his wife.
Shade Bland.
He was the one that got.
And Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby was Heber's sister. She got a great big place
Well,
on
she
her hip.
died.
No, she didn't. She got a place on her hip.
Not from that, but I mean, she's died since.
Yeah.
Heber's brother's Matt's wife is still living. She lives down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I talk to her once in a great while, but she's got macular degeneration. She cannot see, and she's got Parkinson's disease.
Oh, does she?
She's in the nursing home. I haven't talked to her in a while, but she always was glad that I called.
Now, how long before you got married after Heber died? I mean, how?
Willard was 11 years old.
So it had been about, well, it was 11 years then.
11 years.
Now, where was he from?
Baltimore.
Okay, you'd already been up there then.
I had a cousin, Thelma. Remember, she and her boyfriend, what was it, Austin? You remember Austin?
Oh,
Thelma's
yeah.
boyfriend. They came down to North Carolina.
I thought he was, that was in,
Huh?
I thought that Austin was her boyfriend when we were living there on, was it Chestnut Street, right close to the Federal Hill. You know where Federal Hill was?
Yeah, well, that's where, on Montgomery Street. So they brought me and Willard and I back up to Baltimore. And I got a job with Montgomery Ward, so I had to take Willard back to my mother's. And he stayed there until she died when he was 5 years old, so then I had to bring him back up to Baltimore. And he started school up in Baltimore.
Okay. So that's how you ended up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had two aunts. And, Aunt Minnie and Aunt Bessie, both lived on Montgomery Street. That was my father's.
And Tommy lived there too.
Tommy worked at the funeral home.
See,
He
I
lived
knew
on.
Tommy before you did.
I know. He lived on Riverside Avenue though. He worked at Howard Strong's
They lived
funeral
close
home.
to the city market too.
And he used to pick me up in the hearse, take me to work. I worked midnight.
Oh no!
And he'd take me to work.
At midnight in a hearse.
Yeah, about 11 o'clock.
Right. Oh my gracious. So when did what was, and I can't remember his name. What was your second husband's name? Mary Ann's dad.
Thomas.
Thomas. And when did he pass? Because I was still around. I mean, I was young. I remember him a little bit, but did he pass before Robert, before Granddaddy?
No. Oh wait.
Did Thomas? What year did Thomas
Yes,
pass?
he did. He did pass away because I was in Arizona when Robert passed away,
I
remember?
don't remember.
And I was with a friend, we were on a trip. So I couldn't come back. So when I came back, I came and stayed with her for about a week.
Mm. So but he died before Robert then, because Robert died in 70. My granddaddy died in 76.
Tom died in 71.
Okay, that's what I would say. I barely remember him, but I do a little
He
tiny
died
bit.
in 71.
Okay,
Same year Mary and Joe were married.
that was the year she was married. Okay,
He died in January.
You remember when his land used to come to the house and bring his children along? And
Miss Bland.
Helen would get so angry because they'd eat the candy that she brought for Mama's grandchildren.
Exactly.
Helen would get so mad.
And then you, what? No, they're back. And now, when did you? So you met Heber. You were in Vanceboro, and you. I know, right? But you were in Vanceboro, and then you met Granddaddy, and you met Heber. You stayed there, and you went.
I think Willard was 3 years old when I left Vanceboro.
Okay. And that's when you went to Baltimore
Baltimore.
to work for Montgomery Ward.
I worked in Baltimore too.
You did?
I think his name Betsy.
Alexis, can you get her in the garage? I can't hear. Oh.
I don't know whether Bud's still living or not. Bud, Thelma's brother.
See, after Diane heard from,
Diane heard from what?
she heard from Thelma's husband.
I haven't heard from him. I don't know whether he's still living or not.
I'm like, well, you're the last one I think
I used to shorten his pants for him. They'd come over and I would shorten his pants for him. But after Thelma died, he didn't keep in contact with her.
He tried to keep it.
He wrote up a history of our father's side of the family.
Where did he come from? What was his?
He was from Baltimore.
He was.
Yeah. But he wrote up the history of the Kent side.
Okay. So did Kent is English, right? It
Uh-huh.
sounds English. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he was originally from Baltimore, and then
Yeah.
where was your mama from?
She was from Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, she was.
Actually, South Mill, because her
Right.
Yeah.
her father was a doctor in South Mill.
Right. Okay. So your dad, what was her maiden name though? He was
Temple.
a Temple, that's right.
Temple. That's my middle name.
Okay.
Stuck
Temple
that
and
on
Kent.
me.
That's right. Sometimes
They
I
wanted a
forget.
boy,
You can
so
walk
instead
across,
of
Mom.
What's going on?
they named my middle name Temple.
You ask some quick. No, they know.
I didn't want to get in front of
Oh,
it.
you're fine. They get pictures. You're good. They know it's on.
You taking pictures of her?
I'm taking video.
Oh.
I'm recording the story.
Oh.
So we can share it.
What's the matter, Diane?
Nothing. I had to crawl so he wouldn't get a picture of me.
Mom, you come sit and talk to him.
I just had to crawl on the floor so he wouldn't get a picture of me. Bye.
You come talk to him for a little bit, Mom.